The price of Bitcoin, BTC, shows a clear increase in buying pressure, shifting the trend from bearish to bullish, albeit temporarily. Regardless, investors are cautious and uncertain about BTC's current cycle stage. Let's look at some on-chain metrics in this podcast to get a bigger picture of the market cycle. The long green weekly candlestick, which began on January 9, shows that the overall price of Bitcoin has increased by 24%. Investors have been perplexed by the significant repercussions of this explosive rise. Some people are completely bullish and anticipate a bull market rally, while others are still bearish and cautiously optimistic. From a strictly technical point of view, in order for the price of Bitcoin to have a chance of reaching $30,000 or higher levels, it will need to overcome the horizontal resistance levels of $21,400 and $23,900. The picture is much better when the 200-day and 200-week simple moving averages, SMAs, are added to the mix. Even though the price of Bitcoin has cleared the 200-day SMA of $19,556, it still needs to clear the 200-week SMA of $24,638. BTC will have a better chance of reaching the $30,000 barrier or the resistance zone, which stretches from $36,260 to $42,450, if these levels are broken. Interestingly, the midpoint of the 77% decline in Bitcoin price between November 2021 and November 2022 coincides with the $42,450 resistance level. The current situation seems oddly familiar when compared to the price of Bitcoin in 2018 and 2019. BTC quickly recovered to $11,387, the midpoint of the slump, following an 83% decline from December 2018 to December 2019. A mean reversion play would place the price of Bitcoin around $42,450 if history were to repeat itself. From an on-chain perspective, two aspects have changed as a result of the recent price increase in Bitcoin. The first is when the realized price of BTC, an on-chain metric, has risen above a certain threshold, putting the majority of holders of the largest cryptocurrency in profit. The average price at which Bitcoins were purchased is known as the realized price. It is calculated by dividing the number of Bitcoins in circulation by the value of Bitcoins at the time they were purchased. If this metric holds, the beginning of a bull run for the price of Bitcoin would be ideal. In BTC's 12-year history, the 2022 to 2023 bear market has been below the realized price for a total of 179 days. The current bear market is the second longest of the last 4 bear cycles when measured against the previous cycles. The realized price can be further divided into two parts: the long-term holder realized price, which counts coins that have been held for at least 155 days, and the short-term holder realized price, which counts coins that have changed hands within the last 155 days. Both of these prices track the coins that have been held for at least 155 days. The long-term, short-term, and realized price bands have already converged in September 2022, which is typical of bear markets with significant price drops. However, the Bitcoin price has recently risen above the realized price of short-term holders, which is approximately $18,000. However, the break-even price for long-term holders is significantly higher, at approximately $22,400. Overall, the price of Bitcoin faces a number of obstacles if it is to continue its upward trend. Particularly up to $20,000 in a conservative outlook, bulls have room to recover and attempt a push to $30,000 beyond this obstacle. The short-term uptrend could capture $42,246, which is the midpoint of the 77% crash in 2022, in the most optimistic scenario. Things start to become dichotomous when looking at the weekly chart of the Relative Strength Index for Bitcoin price. Investors can get a sense of how things could develop on the weekly chart by being unsure of whether they are in the bull or bear case. As a resistance level, The RSI is currently facing the midpoint at 50. When the price of Bitcoin reached an all-time high in November 2021, the index fell below this level about 400 days ago. In March 2022, the indicator attempted to flip, but it failed. Bulls will be present if this hurdle is flipped cleanly. However, a rejection will be a clear sign of buying pressure exhaustion and a possible sign of a retracement. The price of Bitcoin will most likely revert to $19,300 in this scenario. The long-term downtrend, which has produced two distinct lower highs in November 2021 and March 2022, will resume if this support structure is not maintained. If the Bitcoin price has a weekly candlestick close below $15,492, the bullish outlook will be invalidated. The price of Bitcoin could return to $11,387 in such a scenario, which is the midpoint of the 88% fall that occurred between December 2017 and 2018.